dude, we got to dive into the ClickFunnels 2.0 release date. And you are way more familiar with ClickFunnels than I am. I used it a little bit back in the day. I experimented. I tested it out. I ended up just like moving on because it wasn't part of my business back in those days. But I'm glad to have that experience. And I have a huge amount of respect for Russell Brunson. I watched actually that whole series of videos that he promoted recently where it showed the progression of his relationship with Tony Robbins. And that actually just gave me even more appreciation for him and the work that he's put into ClickFunnels and just what he's all about. Plus, he has kind of like that nerdy kind of vibe about him, which I resonate with because I'm a bit of a nerd. Not a bit, I'm a huge nerd. So I totally get where he's coming from and get super excited over like super geeky stuff. But you gotta serve this up to us in a big juicy platter here because I'm not a big ClickFunnels user. You are. And it looks like the 2.0 release is huge. This looks massive.
All right. I'm going to give you a little background because I've been watching this concept that they putting out about ClickFunnels 2.0 for a while. It's not out yet. And I had a friend. The reason why I actually got into this is a friend of mine flagged that Sam Cart raised, I think, $60 million. And we were discussing what Sam Cart's doing. So Sam Cart started as a shopping cart software. And now they've expanded into including LMS features. So online courses, you could now build your landing pages and so on. So they're becoming a competitor to ClickFunnels, starting as a shopping cart, which is interesting. And ClickFunnels, their editor, the way that it works, was actually originally they were trying to make an editor for producing your email marketing, like an email marketing template system, right? So I'll give a little background on the history of page builders, like SaaS page builders for landing pages and funnels. The first one that kind of really blew up and got popular was, I think it was Lead Pages. I'm going to say it was probably the first one. And Lead Pages allowed you to it had a template. There'd be a headline, there'd be an image, maybe you could put a video, and you could only just change the text of the headline. You could change the text of the description. You could change the image, but you couldn't move it around. You couldn't, make your own sections and so on, right? Or you could make a section, but then you could only edit what was, it was very strict in how you can edit it, right? So it was not great, right? And then at that time, I was using Unbounce. And Unbounce is great because you can just move things around anywhere on the page. You can just take an element and just drag it anywhere, right? No restrictions. So as a page builder designer, very easy. The challenge with that is that a lot of people who don't know design, they don't know how to use margins and padding and so on. So things can become messy because you could literally just put anything anywhere on the page. And when I was using Unbounce, I was a very early adopter of Unbounce, like within the first year that they launched. And I realized that I could have all these landing pages, but I couldn't make a funnel. Everything was just landing pages. You could put your pages into groups, but it wasn't tracking that they would go to this page, they would opt in, and they would go to this page, and then they would do this action. It wasn't a funnel. I actually think, I haven't used it recently, but I did look into it maybe 2 years ago or something. They still don't have that functionality. They're just about building it's just a landing page. I mean, I haven't looked at it recently, so I don't know. I didn't check into this.
Okay.
But
still, it seems to me that's pretty serious that if you can't track the conversion rates, then what's the point?
No, you can track. Yeah. So you can track the conversion rate of your landing page, but you don't know from point A to point B where because your funnel could have many pages. I do not think that Unbounce has a shopping cart system. So you're only tracking opt-ins. You can't, through Unbounce, maybe there's some way to hack this. I don't know, but it's not built to be tracking the sale and that sort of thing. They target startups that are building like an MVP. They want their landing page up, that sort of thing. But I told them, because they were Vancouver based and I would go to their events and I met, there was like 5 founders. I met them all. And I told them this, I'm like, you guys should be targeting these people selling courses. And I remember telling them about like Frank Kern and I was like explaining to them the world of and they were like, oh, interesting. Like they didn't know, and
they've never heard of Frank Kern?
Yeah, this is like 2015 or something like that. It was like Frank Kern. Gotcha, I explained to them like traffic secrets and all this stuff. I was like, people selling courses, and then he was just like, he just didn't really know what I was talking about. And I was like, I need a funnel, not a landing page, And this is like 2015. I was like a very early adopter telling them this, and I was surprised they still don't have this. Yeah. And they also don't believe in affiliate marketing, so they don't have like an affiliate system, which I think is kind of silly. Like you look at ClickFunnels, the reason they grew so much, and by the way, ClickFunnels has way more users than Unbounce. And I just think it's funny that they're like against against they're like, if people love our product, they should just promote it. Why would we need to pay them? I'm like, because affiliate marketing, I don't know.
Because that's what motivates people to take action, duh.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, for me to put in a lot of effort to promote something, like, it would be great if I could get paid. Like, I don't mind just telling people Unbounce is cool, but like, anyways. Yeah. So ClickFunnels comes around, and ClickFunnels, their page builder is very easy to use. And I think what made it easy to use is they're using the design principles that a developer would use, or like a UI designer would use, right? So you have sections, you have rows, and you have columns, right? So the section this is the section of the page, right? Then you have it goes columns. So it goes sections, columns, rows. Then you have columns. So you can have, I don't know, maybe up to 5 or 6 columns within that section. And then you have rows, which is all the stuff that would go in. I think I got that right. So that's like how designer developers, that's how they build things and when they're coding things, right? So it made it a little bit more restricted into how you could put things into place. So you can't just drag something anywhere on the page. And I think that helped people to design pages a little bit easier and just made it easier to use versus you just put things anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And they had the concept of the funnel. So Russell Brunson was a very well-known marketer at the time who was building funnels and spending tens of thousands of dollars to build out all these funnels and all these, you do what's called like a one-click upsell. So someone buys your one product, then you have a video on the next page that says, hey, you just bought this product. How would you like this product too? Just click this one button. You already have their payment information. So as soon as they click that button, it's an automatic upsell. Then you could have down sells and cross sells. They say, no, I don't want this. Then you could say, well, how about I give it to you at this and you just pay, $1 a month or, something like that, right? They also have order bumps. So when you're on the checkout, you could say, I'm buying this book. Well, hey, you want to get the audiobook? Just check this box and I'll send you the audiobook as well. Those are order bumps. So the shopping cart functionality, being able to like customize everything about your shopping cart was very unique. I believe they were the first people to make a shopping cart that was fully customizable. It's almost like you're building like a form on your website, but you do it with a shopping cart. And then they had the ability to do a PLF sequence, so a product launch formula, which is very, very popular with Jeff Walker popularized the PLF sequence. And back in the day, there used to be what they call like the syndicate of digital marketers that would all promote each other's product launches. And they would all use this PLF sequence. It's a series of 4 videos. There's a psychology to each one of these videos. But to like technically create a PLF sequence was a lot of work and a lot of money. And so with ClickFunnels, you can easily create the whole 4 video formula and do a PLF. You could do automated webinar funnels, lots of stuff. They have, they also have like the 2-step order form, which he was using for his free plus shipping book. So there's a lot of features that people would use to build funnels that are like built into ClickFunnels. So they're very focused on people who are building funnels. So I remember when I was getting into ClickFunnels, I built my whole website. So originally I built my whole website with Unbounce. So when I got ClickFunnels, I built my website with ClickFunnels, and it's not meant for that. But you can have a navigation bar and you just build, instead of having like a funnel, people go from like step A to all the way down. You just build multiple pages. They're basically like multiple landing pages. You just put them all into one funnel, whatever. And people can just click to go to every page and you just build out your page that way, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to make a blog on ClickFunnels, pretty much not possible. It would just be ridiculous. You'd have to build a page for every blog post. It'd be silly, right? But a lot of people talk about this, and I remember Russell Brunson saying, like, we're not going to make an editor for websites or blogs because we're focused on funnels. I remember him saying this. I was like, he was so adamant that like ClickFunnels is not this or that. It is a funnel building software, right? So then when I started hearing about ClickFunnels 2.0, I thought it was very interesting that now they're expanding outside this. So what I think happened, he got to the stage, but there was there was a time where I think he was kind of like done being the CEO, right? He had Dave Woodward take over as a CEO, and he was kind of stepping away and doing other things, right? He had kind of like reached the peak of kind of what he wanted to do with ClickFunnels. So I think they were considering selling. Based on watching his vlogs and so on, he went to the Salesforce conference. I forget what it's called. SalesCon? I don't know what it's called. I think they were maybe getting an offer from George Benioff. He's the founder of Salesforce.
Yeah, he doesn't say who gave him the offer, but it says they publicly disclosed that they turned down an offer, right?
Yeah. So what I think is that I think they would. This is my prediction. This is what I think. I think that they would have sold it for $1 billion, and I think the offer was not $1 billion. I think that's what it was, because I think for $1 billion, no problem, you can buy ClickFunnels. But he probably offered them less, and they were like, you know what, we could either make the next version of this, we can go public, we could, whatever. There's other options. So they decided, how do we, take this to the next level? So going back to my friend flagging the story about Samcart and what they're building, then we started talking about ClickFunnels 2.0. And then I also mentioned about Ghost and how Ghost is creating a new CMS or a competitor to WordPress, which I always felt like WordPress had dominated the market of CMSs. It'd be very interesting to see another platform become a leading CMS in that way. And I really like Ghost. Ghost is really still a baby. There's not a big ecosystem of people building apps and plugins for it. They don't have that many users to make it worth it, I think. But I think Ghost is really interesting to me. So when I was looking at ClickFunnels 2.0, I was like, will ClickFunnels 2.0 be a CMS? Like, can you just make your website with it? So I did a little digging, and I watched a presentation of Russell Brunson at Funnel Hacking Live, I think last year in 2021. And he was doing a presentation about ClickFunnels 2.0. And so I watched that. Then I found the video of him talking to Tony Robbins about his legacy and kind of this whole idea of being acquired.
We did look at potentially selling or going public. We looked pretty deep both directions. Got a really good offer that we turned down because I'm the artist who's like,
yeah.
And then we kind of regrouped and we're like, well, what do we do then? Like, we've been doing this now 7 years. I feel like we've built not just built a business, but we built an industry. There's a whole thing around it. It's been pretty cool. One thing that's come at me a lot is a lot of the people that we built up, that we trained, that we gave these careers to, are now coming and building software to compete with us and seeing the opportunity and coming at us. So that's happening. We started building ClickFunnels 2.0 from the ground up, completely revamped, and we're going to be launching it at our Funnel Hacking Live event in a couple months. I've heard you talk about it before, that like when people are like, they're coming for where you're at, you're like, well, I'm a decade beyond you now. Like, that's where we're coming back, where we're coming in, they're cloning what we're doing. Yeah. We're coming out and we're going to be 5-10 years above them with the next iteration.
So you see, it's interesting to see his evolution, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, and also just looking at his legacy and where he wants to take this. So I love that he made the decision to make ClickFunnels 2.0. So I found this article, I'm showing it up on my screen right now, about a sneak peek here at ClickFunnels 2.0. And I want to go over some of these new features and what they're going to mean to creators, to businesses. I think that this is going to change the game. I think this is a big deal. I'm currently not using ClickFunnels as much as I used to, but I would definitely be moving my website and all my stuff back over to ClickFunnels with all this stuff. So the first thing is Funnel Hub, which is going to be, it says right here, the Funnel Hub is the new modern website and funnel building headquarters. It's where you're going to find your backend navigation, right? So that's where he's saying right there, you can build your website and your funnel, right? This visual automation builder, there was a tool that came out, was it Funnelytics, I think, where you can visualize your funnel. So watching the presentation at Funnel Hacking Live, where they were explaining was that you could do an A/B split test, but not just of this page to that page, but you can have people go down different paths. You can have them go down different paths based on what they bought in the past. Or you could just do a split test and says, if they go down this path, then they go through all this stuff. They go down this path, they go through all that stuff.
But can you confirm this for me? I feel like I'm thinking about stuff that I haven't thought about in a long time, but I feel like Funnelytics was kind of frowned upon, and I can't remember why. Am I making stuff up here right now, or weren't people having problems with Funnelytics, or maybe it was a different feature that I'm thinking of right now?
No, I don't think so. I thought the sentiment on Funnelytics, people really like it.
Okay,
I think that this is
I'm forgetting something here. Then. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I think, because Russell talked about, people in the marketplace kind of replicating and kind of copying ClickFunnels, which a lot of people did. There's a lot of, landing page building, funnel builders and stuff like that out there.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah, he talked about people bragging about the fact that their pages loaded faster than ClickFunnels pages. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And so this also reminds me of Infusionsoft. So when you're building out your email automations in Infusionsoft, what was really great about Infusionsoft is that visual editor, right? where you could say this email, if they click, then they do this, and so on, right? I've also seen him do these like sticker packs. You can get stickers with like video, email, whatever, and you could put them on your whiteboard and stuff, and it was pretty cool. So I think this idea of visualizing it, usually you're whiteboarding it, whatever, but to build it out like this, I think will be amazing, especially if you're an agency selling this as a service, to be able to build out a visual representation of what you're doing and be able to explain that to a client. Awesome. Faster load speed. So yeah, they're showing here is a graph of how much faster they're going to be than everybody else. Speed is so important. Going back to me switching from WordPress to Ghost, my website is so fast. It is so fast, Ghost, right? And it's the infrastructure of how it's built and so on. So I love that they are
Google pays attention to that speed. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's also another issue that people have been talking about. I don't think it has to do with load speed, but apparently people are having issues getting their ads approved if they use ClickFunnels. So hopefully that will be addressed as well. I don't know why. Maybe because there's a lot of bad actors in ClickFunnels. I don't know. Maybe because they're using the subdomain. Maybe that was the reason why, because they're not putting their own domain. I don't know why I just brought that up, but
yeah, I know ads and redirect links are definitely not friends. I don't know if that would be tied into that, but
I notice a lot of people don't customize their CNAME to have a custom domain on ClickFunnels. They'll just use the subdomain ClickFunnels dot something. I'm like, why would you,
Yeah.
So then they have CRM funnels. So it says build internal workflows for converting prospects into customers using our new custom CRM flow. So this looks to me like Pipedrive, and it also looks to me like what I use ActiveCampaign for. So when somebody applies for our program or for whatever, they kind of like a card goes into this, like we have these flows of like, okay, they applied here, they scheduled the call, it kind of goes into these multiple steps. So to have that now replaces the need for ActiveCampaign's CRM functionality, which by the way, I use ActiveCampaign, and even though it's one of the main things I do in my agency is setting up ActiveCampaign for people, because I'm so aware of all the issues. I actually really don't like ActiveCampaign, but I just don't know a better option. Like nothing's like that much better to like switch. But ActiveCampaign is I remember ActiveCampaign raised like $60 million in like 2015 or 2014 or something like that, and did nothing. Like they built a page builder that's a really bad page builder, and they built some other new features that I just like don't even want in my dashboard, and just didn't. Yeah. Anyways, so I would love to use this instead of that. Team collaboration. I think this is probably the coolest thing. So what you could do.
Yeah, I was impressed to see that too.
Multiple people building on the same page, just like in a Google Doc where you could see someone's doing this or that. That is over the top awesome, right? Like,
because no brainer for remote teams, and remote teams are taking over. So
yeah, because now if you both log in to ClickFunnels, you could be building one thing, then when you hit save, like it could affect the other. Like you can't work at the same time. And so doing that is going to be crazy, because I would love to be able to get in there with my designer and my copywriter and just like everyone just works at the same time. That would be crazy.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. I'm sure that was a feature that was being requested. It certainly sounds like, and I'm going to let you wrap this review here up here on that, but it certainly sounds like that they really did listen to their audience. They really did listen to the pain points that were being reported through using ClickFunnels 1.0, and they're now taking a piece of all these different CRMs lunch, because they're now incorporating all these different CRM features into ClickFunnels 2.0 to really house and streamline the entire process into one interface. And there's no denying that's the way to go. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this part surprised me, which was the e-commerce features. I didn't think they were going to go this way, because a lot of people do use ClickFunnels to sell physical products, but usually if you have like an e-commerce store, you're going to go with like Shopify. If you have a lot of products and a lot of SKUs and that sort of thing, you need something like Shopify, right? Or, WooCommerce, like WordPress based, that sort of thing, right? So they're also doing this for physical products, being able to have your own store, all that. I think that's overkill, that you can have a full-on e-commerce store. And you could also have, they're calling them cart funnels. So you can go there, add something to your cart, continue shopping, add to cart. This is now competing with Shopify. I imagine a store that has hundreds of SKUs and so on, I'm maybe not going to be able to use ClickFunnels. I don't know. When I used Shopify, what I noticed is that a lot of things, I worked with a client that had thousands of SKUs, and there's like a a file you download. It's like a CSV file that you could download. It also works to upload it into like Google Shopping. So I can like download the file and then upload it into another platform, and it's all formatted. There's a certain name for this file type. So it just becomes very robust and very flexible when you have something that's dedicated to e-commerce. So I'm curious to see if that's what this is going to be, or this is going to be like, if you have, let's call it like under 100 products, then probably it'd be okay to use ClickFunnels. I just wonder how it would scale, if they're going to do the whole spreadsheet stuff, if it's going to integrate with Google Shopping. Because there's like Google Shop, there's the Pinterest has a shopping thing, Instagram has a shopping thing, and they all use the same sort of file type, right? It's like a CSV download and you upload it, certain column names, all that stuff. So I think that's cool. Then new course builders. So their LMS right now is really basic. So they're going to make a better course builder. And then a blog builder. And that's what's going to really allow you to build your website, is to be able to have your own blog that you can start blogging through the ClickFunnels editor. Crazy. I'm looking at the screenshot right now. It doesn't look like it's going to be a great editor. It looks like a pretty basic editor, but I'm sure they can make it better over time. But I believe in the blog. Awesome.
So who do you think is, and maybe you already said this at the beginning and I didn't quite hear you, who do you think is the number one competitor to ClickFunnels? Like 1.0 and 2.0. Who's the number one competitor? I know you mentioned Samcart, and I didn't want to interrupt you, but did a quick Google search. Samcart raises $82 million in Series B to service thriving creator economy. Everyone's talking about the creator economy these days. And this is a press release that was released just 5 days ago. Did you say Samcart is their number one competitor, or did I hear you wrong?
No, I just think it's interesting that Samcart started off as just a shopping cart. So you could just embed your shopping cart into any page, right? I used them originally when they first launched. So it's just interesting that they go from shopping cart and then they build out landing page builder and then LMS, and now they could be considered a competitor to ClickFunnels. I would say the main competitor is probably Kajabi, because Kajabi is very focused on the course part, the LMS side, and they have some community features and that sort of thing, but their page builder is not that great. I personally am not a fan of Kajabi. I think Kajabi is way overpriced for what it is, and I don't like the idea of being locked into the ecosystem.
Yeah, you just said it. Has ClickFunnels 2.0 disclosed their price? I actually don't know. I haven't found it.
No, but let's talk about that after. I'm going to tell you what I think the pricing is going to be.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we got blog editor, they got a new page builder, they got sophisticated email workflow. So now, again, going back to what I use ActiveCampaign for, they're doing the exact same thing you could do. This originally was kind of like something you would see in like Infusionsoft now, and then you see ActiveCampaign has something that looks just like this. So I think that's going to be awesome. I would love to ditch ActiveCampaign. I just want to say that currently, ClickFunnels has something called Actionetics. They have Actionetics for their email marketing, and they have Backpack for their affiliate marketing. Both those products, in my opinion, bad. Very bad. I do not like.
You just jarred my memory. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, what was it called? Backpack and Action. That's what I remember hearing years ago that everybody hated.
I don't want to get into it right now, but I do not like them. So, because ClickFunnels pricing right now, it's $100 for funnels and all that kind of stuff, and you're limited to how many. I think you build like 100 funnels, something like that, $100. Then at $300 a month, you get Backpack, Actionetics, and unlimited funnels, right? But I personally don't like Backpack or Actionetics, so I don't think they're usable for me anyway. Other people have used them. I tried. I was excited when they came out. I tried. I've worked with clients using them. I've moved people off of them, but what they're looking at now, this looks awesome. Then this is my personal favorite thing: membership sites.
Yeah,
I think that their membership sites, it looks like they're doing something. We're going to talk about this later, but when they did the OneFunnelAwayChallenge, originally their community was built inside a Mighty Network. So they were using somebody else's product. I think that they're going to build something where you can build a real community. I think that they recognize the power of community. And I think that membership sites are going to be awesome on ClickFunnels. I saw some other screenshots, not here, maybe it was in this article, of kind of what it looks like. And it looked like one that looked kind of like a Netflix style guide. So you can have all your videos and so on, which I'm actually looking for that right now. I have all these internet mastermind videos and I want to make them look like Netflix, You also see Wistia did something where they made, I think it's called Soapbox. And it was kind of like you could make your own website. It's kind of shitty, but you can make your own website and it kind of looks like scrolls left to right, like Netflix and stuff.
Oh, really?
So I thought that was cool. So yeah, it's very expensive. I have a Wistia account and I remember upgrading to get Soapbox was like hundreds of dollars a month extra. And then I looked at it, it was so basic. All right. Email broadcast, they already have this. You can use a ClickFunnels editor to build out your emails and do email broadcasts, all that. It's going to be awesome. Oh, here it is, the customer center. This is what I was talking about. There we go. Now you can build a customer center where your customers can access their paid content. And this is what it looks like here. That's exactly what I was just talking about, right? So I just think it looks so good. I think like that design looks awesome compared to what they have now. Awesome, right? Universal elements. So this is key in order to build out your website is to have something where it's like, okay, this is always on the header. This, be able to move things. They already have something like this already, right? And then analytics, real time. They already have good analytics, but this looks like they're going to improve their analytics. This is a simultaneous page editing. That's what we were talking about with Teams. I think the Teams thing was probably admitting people into your account, but this is going to be able to where you can edit the page together. That's what we were talking about earlier. Then here, this is sophisticated funnel flows. So this is where someone puts in their email address whenever they're buying something. If you know they already have product A, then the upsell could then promote product B and so on. And you go on like that. I think that's going to be awesome, killer. So they're saying they're going live in 2022.
Oh, okay.
I messaged Dave Woodwards, who's the CEO of ClickFunnels, and I asked him if I can get access to it. And he says it's still in beta, but he said that he would get me access once it gets out of beta. So when people were at Funnel Hacking Live last year, I think some of those people, or maybe all those people, got access to this, I think. I looked around, like I haven't seen anybody producing any content or like showing the editor and stuff. And I think it's like not all really ready, but it's supposed to come out this year. Here's what I think is going to happen. Russell Brunson knows that, high ticket offers work and he knows how much people pay for certain things. So right now there's this $100 plan, $300 plan. I think for sure there will be a $500 plan, but I also think that there's going to be a $1,000 plan. I think there's going to be something in here that's going to be worth it. This right now would be a no-brainer at $300 a month. I think $500 a month, I think I'd be in, right? So it just, because it takes care of everything. It's like, I don't need to have my community platform on somewhere else. I don't need to use ActiveCampaign anymore. All my websites, all my funnels and everything. And I can do that for multiple businesses at once. When I said like I don't want to get locked into the ecosystem of like a Kajabi as an example, is because it's all their products are like not that good. There's a lot of downside to a lot of the products, right? And so it's like, and it's also hard to move off of it, that sort of thing. But I've now had a ClickFunnels account for like 5 years. I'm not as active in building new funnels and stuff. I use Symvoli, which is not a very popular platform for building funnels, but it's out there. And I use that to build my website. So it's a funnel builder where you can build websites with it too. And that's what I've been using.
And because I feel like there's a longevity play here too, isn't there? Because they had the opportunity to sell, and through that coaching and guidance and mentorship he received from Tony Robbins, he basically said no. He planted his stake in the sand and said, no, this is my baby. I'm going. And then they basically had to look at each other and say, okay, where to now? If we're not selling, what are we going to do? And they completely redesigned it from the ground up and made it 10 times better, and basically blew their competition out of the water and said, listen, now maybe your site loaded faster than ours and blah, blah, blah. And now we're 5-10 years ahead of you. So there's kind of a longevity play here too, because getting locked into ClickFunnels 2.0, whatever the price point ends up being, it's kind of like, Russell Brunson and the other key players are in it for the long haul.
Yeah. No, I think that they are going to stick it. I think they're probably going to go public, I would imagine. And that's how they're going to kind of get to the next level with ClickFunnels. So I'm very excited about ClickFunnels 2.0 now that I've really dived into it. I think it's going to be a game changer in the industry.
Agreed.